Why do we resist comfort? Why do we resist peace? Rust is war, and war is our biology. That's true. But it doesn't mean we have to act. Close your eyes and breathe. Now open your eyes and pause the chaos of life. Allow yourself to drift into this world with me. Let go of the stress that holds you down and be free. This journey starts as every journey does, the place where the water touches the land. But my eyes were caught by the setting sun, a warm welcome into this world. And so I began my trek across the land. I didn't know where I wanted to build yet, but I knew I wanted to go somewhere cozy with the perfect vibe. But as you all know, finding a place to build is no easy task. YouTube is telling me that a majority of you are not subscribed. If you're watching and you're enjoying, please subscribe so that the chill never ends. I decided to make a quick stop at Outpost and recycle what I collected. Obviously, this early into wipe, there's no guarantee that I'll keep what I recycled, but it's worth a try. I laid down this box to temporarily store my loot while I searched, and as I went deeper into the desert area, I continued looting. While roaming around in this area, I felt a sense of calmness. There were a few large groups that dominated this area, and it seemed like they wiped out everyone that was beneath them And here I was, trying to find a corner to live out my wipe in, hopefully undisturbed. And that's when I discovered this tiny plot of land right next to the ocean. And so I began building. As soon as the moment felt right, I made my way over to the box I used to store away my loot. I grabbed everything and I made a run for it. At this point, I was committed to this location, so I stepped up my farming and started collecting much more loot in hopes of expanding. I noticed that the area didn't spawn a lot of stone, so I decided I would upgrade directly to metal and use the stone to honeycomb. It was an idea at first, but I set it as a goal and worked towards it. Any part of the bunker that I was planning to upgrade to stone, I upgraded directly to metal, and this took some time, but overall, it was worth it. While roaming around, I came across this space. The doors were open. To me, it seemed like a trap, but I didn't have much on me, so I took a chance and went inside. It wasn't much, but it was enough for me to take home. And on my way out, I realized why this looting process was so smooth. It was because this little guy was watching my back. With my new tools, I decided to get enough wood that would last me a while and would allow me to upgrade. The server was far from asleep. There were people roaming the water, and others actively raiding. In my corner, it was relatively calm, but a couple squares out, the server was fully alive. I did spot a boat not too far across the water. I decided farming the ocean would be a great way to expedite this process. Farming the ocean wasn't as comfortable as it usually is. This tugboat was constantly in rotation. I didn't get to loot as much as I wanted out in the water, so instead I chose to farm a road, and I was surprised by the quality of what I found. As a solo, this is my preferred way to collect resources in the early period of a wipe. Now, I was ready to expand, so I grabbed my tools and I began. In the middle of building, I heard something. So I upgraded my twig to stone, even though I was planning to upgrade it to metal, but I'd rather stone than destroyed.
Слышь, либо резай, либо мы тебя прямо сейчас рейдим.
Sorry, dude. I don't understand. Eventually, they left, and I continued from where I left off, just hoping that they weren't going to come back with rockets. My eyes wander. The pacing of this slow desert life calms my solo spirit and brings me joy. In my corner of the map, I breathe in the fresh air all around me. Take in the sounds of the Rust world. Take in the constant flow of the rivers. Listen to the birds sing, a beautiful tune of life. We're still here. We're still breathing. So, we keep living. Now, let's continue the story. I started the day off by repositioning my furnaces. With my slight expansion, I now had more room in my base. First, I fed my furnaces because it's always a good idea to have a constant flow of metal frags being produced throughout the day. And then I shifted my attention to building a loot room. If you like chill content like this to help you unwind, then please subscribe and join the family. I also prepared my suicide bunker. If anyone was planning to raid me through the doors, this suicide bunker would make it much harder to reach my TC. And in the darkness of my base, only lit by my furnaces, I realized I needed to farm. So as soon as the sun came up, I did just that. You see, harbor was not too far away. A short swim and I was there. So I would go there often in search of scrap. And since there was a recycler, I was able to make the most out of each trip. But oftentimes, I'd visit harbor and everything would be looted. Other players with a similar mindset sometimes get there first. So instead, I would go to a nearby road and farm for as long as I could, or until I was killed. desert, it never snows. So, the snowball never forms. And that's how I like it. I love a good grind to the top. To me, it's much more satisfying than a snowball. But then, you get guys like this, unapologetically toxic.
Are you cheating, man? Come on, man.
No. Obviously not. Thanks for the loot.
I tend to feel bad for people like this, because I can obviously tell they're lost and they're angry. Not at me, but at the world they live in. So I won't feed fuel to the fire. My corner of the map has been relatively chill, but as I was farming trees, I saw this. Eventually, they left, and I got back to work. I moved over my most valuable items into my suicide bunker, and from inside, I collected my scrap, enough for a tier 2, and I sent it back over to the other side. I was definitely in need of more space, so it was time to build out the second floor. At this point, I was feeling pretty good. I had my tier 2 down, garage doors in place, my second floor was built, so with a SAR in my hand, I went out to explore. I wasn't gonna risk going inside. There was probably a shotgun trap waiting for me. But not too long after, this happened. After a death like that, I prefer to just relax and do some farming. With the wood burning, I went out looking for some green cards, because now my best bet was to do monuments. Sometimes when I'm roaming, I hear stuff, and oftentimes I don't hear it again. Let me know. Can you relate? I had a few green cards to experiment with, so I equipped a flashlight on my SAR, and I headed out to Sewer Branch. But along the way, this happened. I could vaguely see the player in the distance, and somehow, Cactus was his backup, but shortly after, his real backup arrived. Instead of rushing out with another SAR and risking the loss, I decided to stay home and upgrade my base. And when night fell, I grabbed a shotgun and a jackhammer, and I made my way out to farm. While farming, the sun was rising. So, at the foot of this river, I watched. I let my losses sink into the river because I knew they wouldn't last forever. And so I took a deep breath and I marched on. Soon, things would change, and I would need a lot of resources at my disposal. So I decided to take the chainsaw I had recently found, fill it up, and collect as much wood as I could. That way, I could shift my focus. I collected all the raw meat I had, and I cooked it. The food would come in handy soon. And so I geared up with a green card and a fuse box, and I headed out the door. The start of a domino effect. My gun, a constant. My world, not so. Changes that shape my life that only solos can understand. A silence so pure, leaving only the sounds of nature. And when nature speaks, I listen. A solo can feel lost in this never-ending cycle, but I follow the sunset, and it always leads me home. Now, I'm all geared up and ready to go. A journey to Sewer Branch to get a blue card. If you're new here, I encourage you to subscribe, hit the like button, and say hello in the comments. While I was down here, I made sure to recycle as much as I could because I'd rather go home with scrap than anything else. With the fuse box burning, I made sure to constantly check the door for anybody sneaking up behind me. Now, I was ready to go. But as I was leaving Sewer Branch, I noticed that airfield was not too far away, so I decided to do it too. I made sure to carefully enter airfield, keeping my ears open, just in case. And that's when I heard this. Eventually, they left, and so I popped in the fuse box and made my way down. the time I was done, it was dark. So I made a run for it. I was finally home, so I dropped off everything I collected and researched what I could. There were raids happening all around me, so I set up a few lockers in hopes that I'd be prepared if I was next. Even at this stage of the wipe, I still had to make sure my furnaces were burning. Last thing I wanted was to get caught unprepared. While the sun was still out, I headed up to my roof and set up some solar panels. I was tired of living in the dark, so it was time to light up the base. Now, I had a red card, but I didn't have much cloth, so I decided to take a double-barrel shotgun, some sewing kits, and tarp, and make my way over to harbor to recycle. If I was gonna do launch site, I would definitely need some cloth. Before I headed out, I made sure to flip on the switch. That way, after launch site, I could come home to a fully lit base. Such a wonderful feeling. But on my way out, this view baffled me. I couldn't help but stop and admire it. There's nothing more humbling to a solo than a beautiful sunset disappearing into the night.
Tell me you were lost, so I opened my door and let you in. Now you don't want me. How dare you? How dare you? I've figured out the truth. I know all about you. Don't lie, you can't hide anymore. I know all about you. Don't lie to me.
I had finally completed launch site. On my way out, I made sure I wasn't being camped, and then I booked it home. On the hardest server in Rust, I achieved much more than I thought I could. With my base feeling strong, I decided to lay out on the roof, feel the rays of the sun, and crash into the waves of peace as the wipe slowly comes to an end. Thank you to all the dreamers for watching, and a special thanks to my YouTube members. These solo journeys are engraved into my memory. So many moments, so many feelings I will never forget. I just can't express enough how much I appreciate you all for always watching, liking, commenting. It really makes me feel as though we've developed a community of like-minded, peaceful people, and I'm proud and honored to be one of you. So if you've gotten this far in the video, comment the phrase, "Peace is the answer," down below. I'll see you all in the next one. You've been watching an Orange Dream production.